What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Digging Deeper podcast. I'm your host, Jaron Colnane, co-host, Mr. Errol Bremer in the building.
What's up?
Another co-host, Mr. Paul Schreiber in the building with special guest Josh Reinke. What's going on, fellas?
All sorts of technical difficulties when I got home.
Yeah, explain that a little bit.
My computer apparently decided to ditch Wi-Fi. It's gone. So here we are on my cell phone. Not too bad.
No, it doesn't look too bad at all. I mean,
yeah, I don't know how it sounds though.
It's a little muffled, but it ain't bad.
Yeah, it ain't bad.
Think this ain't better?
Thank God it doesn't sound like that. That's for sure.
Here, I'll just spend the whole time like this.
Let's go ahead and do some shout outs real quick. Let's see. We got Cottonwood Trails Gold Camp in the building. Mr. Michael Enixon. Ooh, I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right. Mr. Gold Monkey Prospecting in the building. Colin Pride, NorCal Prospecting. Dallas Edwards, my boy. Mr. Dan Rouse. Let's see who else we got. Arrowhead Lee, Alaska Gold Hunter. Mama Tina in the building. We got B-Dog, Joseph Gill, Colin Pride, Lee Skillings.
What's up, Colin?
Who else we got in the building? Evergreen Prospectors. What's going on? Let's see, Mark Ferguson. The man himself, Mr. Arrow, Gold Chasers, Boss Dog Mining and Prospecting, Other Level Race. What's going on, everybody? Stephen Bertrand. Okay, that's who that is. I faintly remember that. Well, it's good to have all you guys on the podcast this evening. I know a lot of you YouTube guys already know that cross streaming is no longer happening on Facebook anymore with the groups. It's a pretty shitty deal. Honestly, it was really nice to be able to stream to your own personal group, in which is a private group, take out a lot of the spam, a lot of the bullshit, things like that. Yeah, we didn't really know about it until about Monday, Tuesday, earlier this week. And so we kind of were shuffling around trying to figure things out and how we were going to do this from here on out. So we've messed around with a few ideas on how we're going to make it happen, but one way or another, we're going to make sure that it'll be as easy as possible for you guys to be able to jump on these podcasts.
I tried a weather balloon with an antenna, and it was a no-go.
I mean, it was a good shot, right? It was a shot in the dark, but it was a shot nonetheless. So, I mean, we'll take what we can get at this point. But so I wanted to go ahead and explain that real quick. That way, that's kind of out of the window. I know a lot of people hit up. A lot of us at PB trying to figure out why a page was being created. I believe there's a workaround that we can start cross streaming with YouTube and on the PB page. So if you guys haven't yet, jump over to the Prospecting Buddy page. Go ahead and shoot a like and follow it. It'll help us get further into establishing being able to stream to that page. So that way you guys don't have to strictly go on to YouTube. You could get a notification, go straight to that link right on Facebook, and watch it there like we used to do. So enough of that. So first and foremost, Downeyville Days, man. So you made it happen this year, huh, Josh? That's freaking bad to the bone, dude.
It was tough this year. It was hard to get dates because there's so much going on, and the school wouldn't get back to me about dates, but we finally got it all nailed down. And unfortunately, I haven't had as much time to advertise and do things like I did last year. But I think word of mouth will, because last year was such a big hit.
Dude, it was a smash, man. There was news outlets online that had posted to their websites about it.
Really?
It was
I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So cool. when I was doing a little bit of research for this show, I went on the internet, and there was the Chamber of Commerce had made their own little talk about it. There was a few other little websites that a couple of prospecting websites that also had this whole deal, the days that it was being done. I mean, the whole
That's
work.
cool.
So it was a great turnout last year. So it's awesome that you're able to get it rocking and rolling for this year, bro.
Yeah, man, we had about 1,000 people there last year, and that was
How do
just
you?
like on Saturday, you know. And then there was more people that came through and tried to find parking and couldn't, and a lot of them were too lazy to take the walk, you know. But
Yeah.
it turned out to be an awesome show for sure. You know, lots of good vendors, and vendors were all pretty happy. You know, everybody made money, did well, and you know, so thanks to everybody who showed up that made that happen. Because without the vendors, you know, the show can't really happen. And if they're unhappy, then it'll just go away. But yeah, this year we're gonna be rocking it, man. It's gonna be a great show. I know more of what I'm doing now, so you know we'll be
Yep.
adding different things into it. I believe PLP is going to host a seated metal detecting hunt, you know, where they'll put out like buffalo nickels and different stuff like that, a couple gold nuggets, and you know, and we just go out and find them with our detectors and you know stuff like that. We're going to have food in the building this year as well. Last year we didn't have any food in the building; it was just in town. You go get your lunch and come back. But this year, one of the local restaurants is actually going to be moving in there so that we can have food there. Because that was kind of a pain, I guess, for the vendors. They're like, shoot, I need to get lunch, but I have to walk into town, which literally is 5 minutes. But still, you don't want to leave your booth, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. I mean, hotels are already booked up. I think there's only about 3 rooms left on one of them, and the rest are all booked. Lots of guys are planning on coming up and just camping out in the woods and driving in during the day, which is totally fine. And if anybody needs help finding spots for that, just let me know. I know tons of areas where you can go even just 10, 15 minutes outside of town and set up a camp and drive in and out. So it's worth doing.
Freaking,
And it's going to
that's
be,
badass.
yeah, it'll be, the price has gone up a little bit because last year I had to eat a little bit. So it's $30 per adult for the entire weekend, but actually entire 4-day show, which includes prospecting within the Downey River and the North Fork Yuba River right there in Downeyville. It's super cool. Last year, a couple guys found, I know one of them found a 4-gram nugget. Another one just, yeah, one guy walked right up to a little bedrock crack on the claim and went over there and looked and literally with his eyes saw 2 little rice pieces like that right next to each other. Just, hey, there's gold right there.
Hey, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, so these rivers are super rich. You know, you don't ever get to mine them except for during this show. You know, and we've got all sorts of guys coming. Like Keen's going to be there, of course. Mike Pong and Cash Best, you know, from Gold Cube and Golden Sands, they're going to be there. Got Joey Wilson from Prospecting Adventures from Oroville. Bunch more too. You know, I just can't rattle them all off right now off the top of my head. But yeah, it's going to be full of good vendors, full of good food. You know, and just an
Dude,
awesome
that's
4-day
a win-win. Yeah,
and
that's
there's
for
no
sure.
other show like it, you know. I mean, most gold shows you go to just for the day, hang out, maybe go out to dinner with your buddies, and that's it. You know, this thing is a 4-day thing of just hanging out, mining, a gold show. It's like an outing and a gold show. There will be raffles with PLP and a lot of stuff given away for free as well. And yeah, it's worth it.
This is the flyer here. So for everybody watching, check this out. So you got live music rocking and rolling, river fun. I mean, it's gonna be a pretty sweet gig. If you guys miss out on this, I don't know what you guys are thinking. I mean, it's gonna be a pretty sweet thing to get down to, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, last year was a smash, dude. Smash all
Yeah.
across the community.
It
So
was
I'm sure
awesome.
this year would just be that much better. Food inside the building, so you ain't got to walk 5 minutes. That's a win for me.
Yeah, man, and you know, last year we were able to donate. So it's a nonprofit event fully. I put all my time into it just to help the town of Downeyville and the mining community as a whole. Last year we were able to donate $3,500 to the school in Downeyville, which they're way underfunded. So I think that helped them a lot.
Yeah,
And then I
for
also
sure.
donated about another $2,000 to some. There's a really cool museum in town which got some of it, and then there's a couple other nonprofits that are about promoting Downeyville. And so we donated some money to those guys too, and so and the cool thing is the whole town, all the stores, everybody love us. I mean, I basically know everybody in Downeyville now, and they're all so on board with it. And they're like, "This is the biggest event we've had in years." Restaurants were running out of food by 2 and 3 o'clock on Sunday because everybody just bought out everything.
Dude, that in itself, Josh, that should be a good feeling there. Being able to do such a big event like this and really bring, not only you're bringing money to the small town and really reinvigorating this small town, but you're also bringing in a lot of these guys from outside of California coming down to come say hi and see what it's all about. So, I mean, what you're doing is freaking amazing, man.
Yeah. Hey, and without the community, it'd be nothing. I'm just putting it together, But there's my co-host, Sonia Moline, which owns a couple hotels and then a different restaurant in town. She runs a nonprofit called Discover Downeyville. You can find them online, and a lot of information there too, hotels, campgrounds, all sorts of stuff, So and she's awesome, man. She's really helped put a lot of the stuff together with me. And so we've done it together as co-hosts.
No, that's badass, man. So I got a couple questions for you from last year to this year. So from last year to this year, with this year's Downeyville Days, what can you expect that you couldn't expect from last year?
Probably some different vendors. I'm really, really reaching out to a lot of people. Gotten really good feedback, so we'll probably have some larger vendors there this year. And I mean, basically just more things going on in town, because the town saw what a success it was, and now everybody in town wants to be a part of it. Last year we had the Nevada gunfighters come out and do a reenactment gunfight where they go in the bar and they like pick a fight with each other, and then they head out to the street. We actually close off a section of Downeyville completely, and they go out into the street and have their little gunfight with blanks and all that, but you can hear it like real gunfight shots.
Dude, that's pretty badass.
It's cool, and they're all dressed up in their 1800s clothes, and so they'll be back this year again. I'm trying to get them to do it for 2 evenings, not just one. Right. But we'll see how that goes. It was amazing, man, just the way all that came down. But to answer your question, there's going to be more of that. There's going to be more town involvement in it. Hopefully some like walking tours, so you can walk around Downeyville and see some of the history, because there's tons of gold mining history there. I mean, not just gold mining, but history in general. Right. Downeyville was the first town that ever hung a woman in California. Wow. And it was also the last town that ever hung anybody in general in California. So you can actually go there and see the gallows where all this happened in Downeyville.
That's a real weird first in, last out stat.
Right? Got to count for something, though.
Yeah. Hey, did you know?
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
And there's trails everywhere. It's a chance to explore, and the gold's obviously great. And it's just a great time there. It really is. And Downeyville itself just. Go ahead.
So my next question would be, what are you expecting out of this year's Downeyville Days versus last year's Downeyville Days?
That's what you just asked me. Just more town involvement,
What I mean is personally you versus different vendors, this, that, and the other. What are you personally expecting out of this year's Downeyville Days versus last year's Downeyville Days? So aside from vendors, aside from, the more different things being shifted from last year to this year, you personally, what are you expecting to see out of this year's Downeyville Days?
Well, I expect myself not to go to the bar so late like I did last time.
Going to start earlier this year, huh?
It starts at the same time, but yeah, that was a big mistake. Sunday was a hard day, but it's hard,
Oh, I bet.
But other than that, man, I don't go into things with expectations for myself, and just lay the platform, and hopefully everybody shows up and has a great time and see how
Yeah.
it goes. And if it continues to go well, then we're just going to keep doing it. And it'll always be a nonprofit event, which will go towards Downeyville itself. So,
No, that's absolutely awesome, man. I bet, one of the things that I forgot to ask you about on last year's Downeyville Days was organizing it. What were kind of the things you had to do to get it organized? I mean, I'm sure you'd had to reach out to quite a few higher up individuals to get this thing rocking and rolling, right?
yeah. So last year and this year, it's all going to be about the same as far as that goes.
Right.
Good thing is this year I already know who they all are. Last year it was kind of like a Easter egg, trying to find out who to talk to. But so, yeah, basically, like there's a large parking lot at a trailhead in the backside of Downeyville, but it's still in town. So I get permits through the forestry to use that parking lot for vendors to come and park their trailers and campers and stuff. That way they don't have to pay extra for lodging, because they're there to make money.
Right.
And so that's a huge plus. There's a bathroom, actual flush toilet. It's not a outhouse, so it's more comfortable like that. So I do that, and then I have to go to the high school and get permits, fill out the paperwork and everything, and then and then I pay them a fee up front to use the gym and the certain facilities that we use there, because we have a classroom as well where the seminars are held. And then, and then of course I have to coordinate with all the local businesses. Like this year, I went into all the restaurants and told them, hey, I told you last year to stock up on food, and you ended up selling out early. So this year, do a better job,
Right.
Because that's hard, especially for the vendors and people that don't have food. And it's like you're gonna have to drive an hour to get food or more.
Right.
So hopefully that hole will get plugged this year. And then and so there's a lot to it. There really is. I have to coordinate with all the local businesses in town. I have to coordinate with the other people who hold events in that town to make sure we're not using the same dates. I have to coordinate with other gold shows as well, making sure I'm not doing a gold show on the same date, which that one's pretty easy because most of the vendors will tell you, no, I can't go because there's this other gold show, so that one's pretty easy. I have to coordinate with all the hotels about a year ahead of time and tell them, hey, book this off online, like close it online so that no one else can book the rooms. Right. And then tell people that book it to go in, and you have to call them directly to book a room. A lot of guys go online. They're like, oh, it's all booked up already, damn it. But truth is they just close it off on the website, and you have to call them directly to book a room. So there's a ton. I mean, I rent 50 tables from a party place here in Grass Valley. That's about $1,700 to have them delivered, usage, and picked up. So there's a lot to it. And of course, advertisement, last year.
That's a whole nother, that's another whole ball of wax in itself is advertisement.
Yeah. You just got to keep posting, keep putting it out, and last year I bought the political yard signs that people hang in their yards with vote for whoever kind of a thing. Yeah. I get those with information about the Gold Rush days, and I go to all of the on-ramps, off-ramps, shopping centers, all that stuff from here to Sacramento, and just hang them up, like 200 of them all over the place. And, and that helps bring people in and kind of spread the word. And, I heard from a bunch of different people that they saw those things randomly in Auburn and Sacramento. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
Fuck, dude, that's a lot of work to put in, man. That's pretty epic shit right there, to be honest. I mean, the fact that you're willing to do it, man, you're, on your second year. So another question I do have just off the top of my head is, do you have some sort of small team that helps you, Or?
It's basically me. I I do get help from friends, like hanging the signs up and stuff. I'll hand them to certain people that live in those areas and ask them to go do it. You know, last year I had a friend, Greg Shanklin, who went around and just hung a crap ton of them, you know. So yeah, I mean, I take the help that I get when I get it, but it's all on me, you know.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Hey, Eric Pekkanen is how I think you said. He wants to know, is there any room for RV camping?
There's a couple RV spots, like, you know, campgrounds that host it. They're not right in town. There's one in Sierra City called, I believe, the RV Skies Resort or something like that. And they're up above Downeyville, about 12 miles. So it's only a 15, 20-minute drive from there to Downeyville. And then there's another one in Camptonville called the Willow Creek Campground, and they have full hookup services. They're only about 20 minutes away. In fact, we're doing an outing there for my Reinke Mining Adventures group this weekend. It's a great place. We always go there. Cool thing about Willow Creek, too, is that there's gold in the creek in the campground, and they own a claim right upstream, which has good gold in it. So it's a great place to stay for the Downeyville Gold Rush days if you're looking for full hookup trailers. Now, like I mentioned, I do have access to park in that parking lot, which we could probably fit a few more of you in. There is no hookups, there's no power, there's nothing. There is water and a bathroom without a shower. So it's kind of limited on that. But so if someone wanted to get a hold of me and say, hey, you know, could I get one of them RV spots? And I may be able to accommodate you. It's just, I got to talk to each person and figure it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, for anybody that does want to make it down there, make sure you reach out to Josh, reach out to one of us. We'll make sure we relay the message over to Josh. I'd love to see this thing just freaking blow up even bigger than last year. I mean, last year, from what I've seen and the different pictures and things like that, it just was an absolute smash last year, man. So to see it, you know, running for a second year, you know, and then going from there is just absolutely freaking badass, dude. That's one of the things. Oh, go for it.
I was going to say, another thing we're doing this year too is I've reached out to a bunch of, you know, higher up YouTube guys with gold mining channels and stuff, and nobody's quite committed yet, but there may be a good chance that I might even get like Pioneer Poly to come down and do it. And everybody's welcome. I want as many YouTubers or people that do any kind of live streaming with gold mining to be there and cover it. You can go around, and it'd be good for your channel too, because you can go and talk to, like, you know, the Keen brothers. They'll be there. I'm not sure if Pat's coming. I know Mark is. Mike Pong and just a bunch of other big name guys are going to be there, and you can interview them on your channel at the show. And, you know, so I encourage anybody you don't have to be big. You can be small. Just show up, and you'll have free reign to do whatever videos and things you would like to post about it, because I feel like it's good for them and it's good for us, you know?
Yeah, it's a win-win situation, man. And at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. And from what I've seen from last year, it's just a shitload of fun. So
it is. Just,
you know,
it's hard not to stay up too late with your buddies, though, you know?
Oh yeah, believe you me and Arrow played that game. We played that game, drank a little too much.
I learned a lesson that day is that Jaron passes out pretty hard. The next afternoon, he was taking a nap and just snoring. I really wish I had a rubber horse's head or a bear head or an elk head or something, so I could have put it right by the window and poked him.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
It would have been great in the situation.
Yeah, on Sunday I was not doing well, so I actually had to have a couple drinks during the show just to get me through it. You know, it's like,
It's exactly what I did the next day.
So I'm not doing this year.
Yeah, I learned my lesson for sure. But no, that's awesome, man. I mean, like I was trying to mention earlier, you know, me and Arrow and Paul and all the guys have been kind of just throwing something around, just a random thing. And It's basically the same concept, just bringing a shit ton of really good guys from the community, just blowing this thing up and making it just this massively huge event, where everybody wants to be there every single year, whether it's YouTube, whether it's, guys who are away from social media. I mean, no matter what walk of life you come from, that's kind of what we've always talked about, just as kind of a, man, wouldn't that be absolutely badass if we just had a show of all shows, like the show,
that's kind of the point. Yeah. That's what I'd like
about. If you think about Woodstock, the original Woodstock, that thing was put together with freaking glue, tape, duct tape, zip ties, and a lot of drugs. And that thing turned out to be one of the most memorable musical events of history. You know what I mean? And to be able to do something like that in the community of gold miners and prospectors, just imagine, just how amazing that would be. That would be the show of all shows. You got to be there to see it, and something like this can turn into that very quickly. Very quickly.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is the show of all shows. There's no other gold show you can go to where you can walk to the river after the show and go find a 4-gram nugget. There's no show
right.
that offer gold mining during the show.
I agree. I have to agree 100%. When I first heard that, I was actually blown away because I was torn apart inside. I'm like, well, shit, if I can make it down there, am I just going to spend the whole time in the river? Or am I going to go?
It's hard not to.
You know what I mean? Am I going to just be in the river the whole time? Or am I going to go and shake hands and say hi to everybody and what, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's absolutely awesome that you're able to incorporate that, as well as, the food, the live music, the vendors. I mean, it's a pretty cool, from what I've heard, it sounds like a pretty damn cool experience for sure. And
well, you said you were coming last year, but are you coming this year?
I was this close to coming last year. I was extremely close to coming last year. A lot of things didn't work out. First and foremost, the whole passport situation, because I've never flown. So the whole passport situation was a nightmare. And then when I went to take time off of work, my wife was at the time still working. She's like, and she worked at a bank. So she's like, well, I can't take that time off. And as you know, I got 2 daughters, a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old. And so trying to coordinate and not look like a douche and just take a whole week, off and just go have my own fun was just like, that's not happening. So at the very end,
honestly, if you had a big bash up in Washington, I probably couldn't go either. I get it. It's just a lot. Driving is like 14 hours or longer. And
come on now. Paul put on the superhero cape and made the drive from down here all the way up to Canada. Stopped along to say, hey.
It works for him. Guys like me in Washington.
Paul's like, this was nothing to me, man. This was
guys like me and Jaron can't do that though, because same as me, I got family and a wife and a business and stuff to do. Man, you go taking a week off and traveling, and it just doesn't work out very well.
Yeah, I think in the next few years, I think now that I've mentioned it and spoke with my wife about it, and she knows how giddy and excited I get about it when I do speak about it, she gets to a point where she's like, babe, you've told me 100 times, shut up. Like it's because I'm constantly like, oh well, this show is going on, and she's like, okay, well, let's try to plan it out. And I love her to death, but at the same time, it's like, let me go. Let me,
I guess so it's all perspective too, because Alaska Gold Hunter says that's a short drive. Driving from California to Canada versus driving from California to Alaska.
Yeah. Well, check it out. We did our 9-day PB road trip, which if we had done it in reverse would have been 100 times better. But we drove.
Too bad nobody mentioned that.
Yeah, I know. You did mention it. We should have listened to you. But no, we drove 9 hours from Boise to Spokane, and it really wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all. 9 hours. You tack on an extra 5 hours, stay here and there, eat a little bit of food and whatnot. And That's going to be the main goal in the next few years, is to get down to Downeyville Days and do a full-on broadcast, the full 4 days, just really blow the thing up, especially in the PB community, just really go to town on it and have a ton of fun. Me and Arrow's talked so many times on trying to make it to certain events and making it like the main event per year to go to make sure we make it to. And I think, it's been kind of a nightmare the last 3 years, but we're getting to a point, and me personally, I don't know about Arrow, but me personally, I know I'm getting to a point where I'm going to be able to make these things happen. It just, A, it takes time. B, you got to convince your wife. That's huge. That's number one. And then you tack on the finances as well with gas prices, this, that, and the other, food, lodging, yada, 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 so.
That's what prohibits me most of the time. I mean, with kids and a wife in the car, because normally they end up going with me to places, we can only pull maybe 7 hours in the car, right? So we'll do 7 hours, 7 hours, stop, get a room, finish the next day, and I don't know. That stuff is just super tough on people. I have a neck injury, and so sitting in the car for that long with my neck is super tough. So I get it. I totally get it, man. Yeah. Lucky for me, down it's only an hour and a half away. So
yeah, I was gonna say, man, it's becoming. So I'll tell you one thing. Every single year for last year and this year that you've done Downeyville Days has made it more tempting for me just to say fuck it and just drive down there. No bullshit. Just I'm going. You know what I mean? There's nobody that's gonna tell me no. I'm going.
If you get yourself a little camper or something, I can hook you up with a free place to put it.
We just ended up getting a 19-foot camper. It's actually a pretty sweet camper. I got to do a little bit of work to it, but it's a pretty damn sweet camper. And I tell you what, man, mark my words. I'm gonna be down there in the next year or so, dude. Mark my words. It's an inevitable thing.
During the gold rush days, I can hook you up with that free spot to park it. So you can run generators.
It was funny. It was pretty funny. Me and my wife first got a trucking camper, one of those slide-ins to the back of the truck, right? And kind of figuring things out, and we ended up going to Harbor Freight. I don't know if you guys have Harbor Freight over in your neck of the woods, but I looked over and sure shit, I saw this super quiet generator, 3,400 watts. I'm like, babe, I'm not leaving this store until we buy that. Like. And once we bought that, it went to buying this and buying that for the camper. And it just turned into a whole different exciting thing for me and my wife. And so now when we go camping and we look forward to camping, we know just how amazing it's going to be versus roughing it. Like we used to rough it.
But so did we, man. I'm past that. I won't really.
I'm getting older, bro, where I like to be able to take a fucking hot shower. That's just... I could be out for like 3-4 days, maybe 5 days a week at most, but I need some kind of shower. Me, Arrow, and Rob were in the tent together for like 3 days, and it's like, okay, yeah, we're getting pretty salty. It's getting there.
Yeah, you gotta be able to take a shower. And when it's super hot, you gotta be able to fire up that air conditioner.
Yeah. And that's the reality of it. I mean, a lot of these guys are gonna give a shit. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, hey, that's good for you guys. But I'll tell you what, when you turn on a hot shower and you're out in the woods and you hear the birds chirping and there's nobody around and you're washing dude, it's euphoria. It's euphoria, man. Yeah. Arrow knows what I'm talking about.
Gotta have it.
I was just thinking that, you could take a cold bath in the river, and when you get out in the sun, it'll be just as nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But nice hot shower. I'm more than on board with that nowadays.
That's not my
sure. Yeah.
No cold river showers for me.
Yeah, I used to take those, man, and unfortunately, sand would find its way in every crack and crevice, and I got sick of that, dude. I was like, yeah, this ain't happening. I got myself a little propane tankless little water heater that you hook up to the propane tank.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is a miracle worker. Dude. I'm ready for another week out in the brush, dude. Like after taking a nice hot shower, some fresh clothes, let's go another week.
That's brush in quotations.
Oh, it feels so good too to walk away all
Yeah.
clean out there. It's so nice.
it's a 9-day difference.
Call me
But
a
yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying, man. I'm in the same boat. I used to be, I'll rough it, this, that, and the other after melting shoes in the fire and not having a pair of shoes to wear for the next 3-4 days after not bringing enough food. Yeah, no, I'm done with all that.
can't say I've done that one.
Yeah, learn my lesson more times than one. So yeah, but with that being said, guys, we have some other exciting news coming out of Paul's corner here on the podcast. Paul, if you want to go ahead and give us some announcements on the dates and what we got rocking and rolling.
Yeah, well, so Josh has got his outing this coming weekend, and the next weekend, Josh was nice enough to let me use a couple of his claims near New Bullard's Bar Reservoir that has an abandoned campground on it. And yeah, so 17, I'm going up the 17th in the afternoon. I'm going to post some signs from the main roads in just to identify the way in. I've got GPS coordinates for where the Forest Service Road hits the main road as well. If GPS is your thing, it's kind of a weird location. You come around a corner and you got to hang a right real quick. So I don't want anybody getting lost, but as many people that want to come on up on the 17th, 18th, 19th, happy to have you. I'm going to cook a big dinner for everybody. Should be a lot of fun.
No,
Yeah,
there's
room for RVs out there even. One year we had like 70 people at an outing in that same spot, and a bunch of trailers. Like he said, it's an abandoned campground, and so you go around this circle and you don't notice it at first, but once you really start looking, there's all these concreted slots going to the side for the campground, right? And so that's where you would back your trailer up into. They're kind of covered up with leaves and stuff, so you might want to bring a rake and because it's been abandoned for a little while. But it was a forestry maintained campground, and they had a boat launch, so it went to the lake. You can't really get to it now.
If you guys take any leaves up, make sure to sign Josh's work on his paperwork for the claim.
Right? I own way more than 10 claims, so I don't qualify for that thing anyway.
Right.
But yeah, it's cool. They had there's like an old water tower you can drive up to out there. It's cool just to explore. Beautiful area, cools off in the nighttime pretty well. Room for all sorts of camping. But like I said, bring some kind of rake or something like that because a lot of the ground has leaf cover and stuff on it. There's 2 different creeks. There's one right down the road, which you could drive to and park right next to it and get out. Bam, there's the creek, super easy access. Pretty good gold in that creek. I've never seen anything large come out of there, but I do know that back in the 60s or 1860s or so, it set a record for largest nugget found in California, which was about 30 pounds. And yeah, later on in history, that got beat over and over. Now we're up to 120-pound nuggets or something. But in the very early beginning, it was setting records out there. And so, like I said, we've never found anything huge there ourselves, but it's pretty easy to come upon some little match head pieces, and it's not all tiny. And there's a clay layer in the creek as well that actually has a bunch of silver in it. So if you take the clay and burn the clay off, let it dry out, burn it with a torch, you'll get left with a little button of silver. So really cool spot. Tons of history. It's great for relic hunting as well because there's so much history there. There were thousands of people. There was hotels, bars, all that stuff. It was a full-on town. Which you can't see any of it now, but it was there.
That's freaking badass. We got a question here. Mr. One Stud Puppy says, fire pits or fire restrictions on the location?
We'd have to look that up. I do know that it's in the Tahoe National Forest. So if you want to have a fire, you're going to have to go to their website and get yourself a permit. It's free. You just look up Tahoe National Forest fire permits, and you watch this short video, take a short test, and then they give you this piece of paper to print out. And you take that printout, take it with you, and post it up on a tree next to your fire or whatever. But a certain time of the year, they start restrictions where those are no longer valid. I don't believe that's this time of year. That's usually more like July or August.
Right.
Typically after the 4th of July or right before it is when they start doing that. So that's up to you guys to research and look at. I haven't looked at it this year on if it's restricted yet or not. I don't think it is, but 100%.
So far, we're good.
That's good. Paul, so I had a few questions for you on the group dig as well. That way, folks that want to come to the group dig kind of know the ins and outs. First being food. So what were you planning on doing as far as food goes? What days were you doing breakfast, dinner, things like that?
So main thing that I was going to plan on doing is just the Saturday night dinner. That was going to be, I'm going to barbecue for everybody. It's just going to be simple, hot dogs, hamburgers, some basic sides and stuff. Beyond that, plan on bringing all your own food, your own water. There's nothing very close for shopping if you're looking for stuff.
So come prepared.
There's a place by Brownsville, Josh. Does that sound right? And there's
Say
not
that
even
again?
much there. Nearest place to pick anything up from there is probably Brownsville, but there's not much in the town there.
There's a store in Camptonville, which is probably 25 minutes away, called the Lost Nugget Market. Which, you can get ins and outs there. It's a little bit more expensive, but you can actually get gas there too. And then if you went the other way, there's a place called Brown's or Oregon House. And in Oregon House, again, it's probably only 25, 30 minutes away if that. They have a store there with gas, sandwiches, like a full-on small grocery store, even meat and stuff. So within a half hour, you've got a few different options.
That's awesome. That's badass. We had another really good comment here too, since we're going to be out in the brush there. Food storage. Is there any bear cans, anything like that?
Nope. Bring what you want for storage.
Bring what you want for storage. And then I'd say probably the last question would be, so you said you were heading out Friday, correct?
That's correct.
And then what time are you heading out Friday?
My plan is to leave a little before noon and get there early afternoon. If I can get out earlier, I'm going to. Main reason I'm doing that is I'm trying to get signs up for people. I'm assuming most people are working Friday. Not a lot of people trying to get up there earlier.
Right.
So I'll have the main signs out for a good number of miles out.
Awesome.
And they're just going to say basically PB on them and have an arrow.
Something basic and simple.
Yep.
No, that's absolutely awesome. So what we'll end up doing is we'll end up having a flyer on the PB group. It'll probably be done, I'm going to assume, either tomorrow or Saturday. It'll have all the information, GPS location, yada, yada, yada. We'll post that probably a few times throughout the week up into the group dig. Another thing I totally spaced out about letting the folks know, back on the side note with the Downeyville Days, is a couple of links here that I wanted to post up for them to be able to check out. So what I'm going to do is, instead of showing them on the screen here, I know it's kind of a nightmare to be able to type that in. I'm going to drop both these links in the comments, everybody, and then you can go ahead and actually copy and paste that and go and check out the dates. Literally everything you need will be right at your fingertip with both these links that I'm going to post. I'll post Josh's website he has a bunch of stuff on his website right there. And then also the event section on Facebook. He does have an event section posted already with the dates, the times, things that are going on. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in the comments right now. That way you guys can click on those bad boys and get that trip planned out. As far as our group dig, Friday, this Saturday, we will have a flyer that we will put out. That way it has all the information you need, contact information straight to Paul. If you guys feel like you guys want to be able to make that group dig, all the good stuff will be right on the flyer, right on Facebook, right at your fingertips.
Send it to me too for your guys' group dig, and I'll be sure to send it in the email to my members as well. So one cool thing about this claim is it's not been in the group at all. It's not in the group. I'm going to add it. I have plans to add it. So the cool thing about that is, it's not beat up at all. Nobody's been out there mining it for years and years and years. So that's good. But then, make sure you send that to me and I'll create an email to my guys as well so that hopefully you can get a big group of people out there.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely awesome, man.
Do you know where the large nugget was found on the claim?
Point right where it was found.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Just give everybody an idea, It was somewhere over there on the hillside.
I mean, you can make it up if you want, Send them on.
Send them on a wild goose chase.
Yeah.
Is there gold up there yet? Yeah, they found the nugget up there.
Right there. Yeah.
That's exactly funny. We have a few more comments here that I'd like to shed some light on here. Let's see here. So NorCal Prospecting says, wrong one. Well, any friends out there? This is Christian Walters.
Hi, Christian Walters.
Hey, how's it going, buddy? Pick Panner says, just tuned in. How was the vendor selection during the event?
That's good. I mean, we bring in a lot of vendors. It's a high school gym, so it's basically the size of a basketball court plus a little more. And we filled it up last year. I expect we're going to do the same this year. And there is an outdoor section and then even a little front room section. Last year we filled all that up. We'll probably fill it all up again this year too. So, I mean, there's everything from prospecting equipment to gold nuggets to, I don't know, tons of stuff. It's not all gold related, but it all fits in with the things that we do to get to the gold.
So then I assume there's a playground if people want to take their kids out for a break or whatever and play on the playground.
There is, yeah. Playground. Yeah. There's the river to go swimming in. Lots of easy access to the river. Yeah.
That's pretty badass. We got another question here. NorCal Prospecting to Josh. How do I donate /membership? I've been out of the game for a bit and can't find the link. So, Mr. NorCal Prospecting, I sent a link. There's 2 different links on YouTube itself. I'll put it on StreamYard here once again. But if you want to jump over to www.reinkegoldmining.com, I'll go ahead and grab that link real quick and put it down in StreamYard as well. Go ahead and click on that. Jump on his website, and you'll be able to see all the membership situation. I mean, everything is right there on his website. You really can't miss it, my dude. So I'll go ahead and grab that link. Let's see here and drop it down.
Hi, Mr. Lodak. Good to see you again. We'll see.
Yeah, Mr. Lodak in the building.
I just did a podcast with Ed. Gosh, why can I never remember the name of his podcast? That sucks. Lodak posted.
Shame.
I was gonna say, come on, man. What
my brain sucks sometimes, but either way, we were just there. A couple of days ago. Mr. Lodak was watching then. Oh, flash in your pan. There it is.
There it is.
Ed Marv.
I forgot it on his podcast when I was there. I was like, oh, man.
You know what's funny? You know what's hella funny, Josh? When we first started the Digging Deeper podcast, I shit you not, I would do so much research for like a half hour, 45 minutes before the podcast. And then when we went live, I had never done podcasting before, so I'd forget all the shit that I did research on. So I kind of like did shit on the fly. And if you look at the earlier podcast, it's just so funny. I was like, okay, well, let's, in my head, let's move on to this topic or this topic. And, it worked out really, really well. But I'm a very forgetful person myself. I forget a lot continuously. And
Me too.
Need to
Just
be
too much
reminded.
going on,
Yeah. Yep.
So sorry about that, Ed.
Yep. Yeah, one stud puppy, Don Wentz says, it's called getting old. Our memory slips. Yeah, you can see those grays in Reinke's beard, can't you? Look at the salt and pepper, man.
Yeah,
I tell you what. Yeah. Well,
sucks.
I still got nice ginger beard going. No whites, no salt and pepper in there yet. So I think I'm doing pretty damn good.
Arrow's probably got us beat if he grew a beard, though.
Probably all this over here, is like all gray, and now I don't know. You probably can't see it. I got a gray stripe right here.
Oh, I can see it.
I wasn't so gray up until a couple of years ago.
That's how it happens.
And everything else. Honestly, yeah, it's weird. You get stressed out and your hair starts going gray. It's strange.
Oh, NorCal Prospecting says, I got my annual with his site last night. I didn't see the other links. I was digging for those maps. That's absolutely awesome.
Most guys don't even read the rules, and then they get caught doing something wrong. It's like, hey, man, did you even read the rules? No.
Yep. No, that's the funny thing is with any group digs, with any events, there's always that bottom line of, hey, these are the things you cannot do. And a lot of guys, they're so excited, and gals, they're so excited to just get to the event or get to the group dig that they overlook those things. Right. And I'm personally to blame too. I'm the same way. If I got a trip coming up where it's, Montana, this place, that place, wherever it is, I totally space out about, okay, well, I can't do this. And I just get there and then I'm like, well, shit, I brought this equipment for no reason. Or I brought this for no reason because I can't freaking use it.
And it's like, you ever go to a room through Airbnb?
Oh, yeah.
Every time you book a room through Airbnb, they have all these crazy rules per place you go to. I quit going there. Last time was a really bad experience.
Worse than ever now, yeah.
Yeah, and then so I never read the rules, and I get there and leave, and then people start bitching at me about certain things. I'm like, who reads rules?
Yeah, seriously.
No one said you could use the water.
No, the last time it was, why didn't you take your shoes off inside? I'm like, how do you know my shoes aren't off inside? Well, you got a camera in there?
Cameras, man.
Super weird. Yeah, but in the house, come on.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it one bit, especially in today's day and age. I would not doubt that for one bit.
I don't do Airbnb.
When I go to hotels and motels, especially like the sketchy motels, when I'm like, it's the last motel before you get to the claim. Like when I go to those sketchy motels and whatnot, dude, like I flip up and open and check everything in that motel just because, dude, I've heard the worst horror stories with, guys going to motels, they take off to do their thing, then come back and they don't notice something's missing. And then at the end of the trip, they go to leave and they realize, hey, this is missing. This is missing. This is, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, yeah, dude, I always check my shit.
For me in hotels, what I do is I go in and I lift up the mattress, from whatever it's on, box spring or whatever, and you look under that mattress, right? And that's going to tell you what kind of hotel room you're in right there.
Seriously. No, I totally agree. I don't know how many times I've had to order new bed sheets or new sheets. Or it's like, well, we already paid for it, but at least let's get new sheets.
It's always suspect when you walk in and you look at the bedspread and you're like, that's from 1970.
It smells like 1970.
Got bubble guns stuck to it.
Yeah. You're like, my grandma had a couch in the same pattern.
Yeah. The brown color. Yeah. Been there, done that multiple times, man. I mean, some of the trips that I've been on in the last couple of years, I can definitely say I agree 100%. You know, they say, "Oh yeah, continental breakfast," and you're like, "Oh, okay, shit, man. If I'm hungover, at least I got something decent to eat." You know, and then you open your door to your motel, and there's a little muffin on the carpet. You're like, "Oh well, you know, it is what it is. Better than nothing," you know.
Oh
But
man.
yeah.
And you know it came out of one of the mini muffin packages, so they just went, oh, and they're
A
like,
little
"All right,
bit
we
of-
got 5 rooms covered here."
Yes, I hate
Seriously.
that stuff.
Yeah,
Anyway.
seriously. Yeah.
I gotta take a bathroom, fellas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute. For all the folks that are watching right now, some of the other discussions that we're gonna bring up with the rest of the podcast. First being, there's been a lot of speculation and things going on within the community, not just the PB community, and we really wanted to shed some light on that. You know, and it regards not only Josh Reinke and what he has going on as a business, as a person himself, but a lot of different stuff that's been going on. So that's going to be one of the main subjects that we're going to talk about on the second half of the podcast. And then toward the end of the podcast, we're going to end up doing a donation link. So that way the group dig that we do have coming up is going to be taken care of as far as food goes and everything else in between that you guys might need if you guys end up making it to the group dig. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break, and then we will be right back. So stay put, go take a piss, go grab something to drink, something to eat, come right back, 5 minutes. I'll see y'all in 5 minutes. Bingo. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the second half of the podcast. The second half of the podcast, as we mentioned before the break, we wanted to touch on one of the hot topics that I think we've all seen in the community recently, regarding not only the negativity, but a lot of other stuff that's been going on. So I'd like to dedicate part of this podcast into clearing a lot of that up and kind of bringing us back to where we need to be as a community. And then the last part of the podcast, we will be opening up a donation link. And that donation link will be specifically not only to support the PB family and what we got going on with future up and coming group digs and things like that, but also it's going to help support Paul Scheiber with the group dig that we do have scheduled down in California. So with that being said, without further ado, welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
So, Mr. Josh, one of the things I wanted to really mention is we've had a couple of different individuals, not naming any names, but we've had a few different individuals really causing ruckus in the community. My question to you is, what are some of the steps we can actually take to really resolve this versus it continuing to be such a negative influence on the community?
Well, I'll start with saying that I think that most people are good people and don't want this kind of BS, you know? And usually when those problems happen, it has something to do with jealousy, ego, pride, things that are not good, right? And people talking crap about other people and trying to convince everybody of what a bad guy that guy is and this kind of stuff. And it's like, sure, there's bad guys out there and we need to be aware of them and boot them out, you know? But at the same time, most of us aren't. There's really only a few of those that deserve that.
Right.
You know, so I think what we can do as a community in a whole is, you know, the whole don't say nothing unless you got something nice to say, you know? Use honor, right? Be an honorable person. Do not, if you don't like somebody and what they're doing, but they're a part of this community, don't try to use your influence to hurt that person, because in general, it's only going to hurt the community, right? And it may hurt that person just a little bit, but not much, because each of us have our own followers and people that, you know, there's little groups. And that's the problem is we're segregated into these small groups rather than being one.
Right.
And that right there comes from the leaders. That's from the leadership down. And you know, the whole thing is I'd love to see everybody in the mining community become one. Get together. If you don't like someone that's there, just don't talk to them, or give it a chance. Give it a chance. Maybe, you know, the things you've heard, you'd be able to resolve by speaking to the person. You know, take things up in private rather than on Facebook. You know, and the leaders of the community need to shut those down that are spreading that kind of stuff, really, you know. But the problem is that a lot of it comes from the leaders, and you know, and that's the biggest problem. And again, it's all ego and pride and different things like that cause a person to need to speak poorly about someone else. Now, if you've been wronged, like someone stole money from you or some really dishonest stuff like that, then I believe you have a right to air it out, you know, tell people,
sure.
Because you got screwed. But if these people you're talking about have not actually screwed you directly, then you can't, you shouldn't, really. I mean, you can, but honestly, most people who go around talking trash about people, the other people that hear it in their own mind, they're thinking, boy, this guy's just talking trash about everybody. You know, what's he going to go say about me? You know? And so that's kind of the general thought, I believe. So most people who run around talking trash are kind of by themselves in it. Every once in a while, they'll get a couple people to join, but then they realize that that's a dark corner to be in and come out, you know? And so it's tough. And I've been the central target of a lot of this stuff from a lot of different people for a long time, you know, and I've toughened up to it now. Whatever, man. The way I see it is I'm on this path that I'm on because God has blessed me with it.
Yeah.
there's not a chance any human in the world could take away from me God's blessings, right?
I
So
agree.
I'll speak to people. If I hear things in private, you won't see me airing it out unless there's some total scammer doing something, scamming the community as a whole. I'll air those guys out. But as far as personal problems and stuff goes, I take it up with the person. If they receive it, cool, man. Hopefully we can move past and apologize to each other and make things proper. That's always the goal. And I encourage all of you out there to do the same. Take things up. If you're upset about something with somebody in the mining community, take it up with them. Don't get butthurt. Don't go running your mouth to other people, because all you're doing is creating division. And we don't need any more of that. We need a group of people as one, with one voice. And that doesn't mean one person runs all of it. That means we all agree on our direction, right? And so, and I think that that's the biggest way I could say to avoid it, is to just think honorably. Think of yourself. Think of how you would like that other person, if you were in their shoes, how they would like you to approach, or I'm sorry, you would like them to approach you if you were upset with them or they're upset with you. And do things in private, man. Keep it off of Facebook, because not only are you showing everyone in the community the dysfunction, but you're also showing our opposition the dysfunction. And that is a huge problem. We've been run over legally in the past 10 years. And most of that has happened because we can't come together and speak with one voice. And again, I don't mean one person running the show. I mean all of us having the same goal and working towards it, And so in my mind, that's it. We just remember, have honor in the way that you work and the way you talk to people, and treat them as you wish to be treated, and hopefully they'll do the same. And when they don't go to Facebook. Don't post things negative about people, and do those kind of things. Keep it to yourself. Count it as a loss of a friend or whatever it may be, but keep it to yourself, and don't go around talking to people about it, because it really just creates a lot of troubles for that person, for yourself, and for the community. It's trouble, right? So we should only be doing things that gain us more ground, not take it away. And that's the mining community's biggest problem is, shoot, man, we're all independents. That's why we like gold mining, because we get away from people. We head out to the woods. We get away from people. But then again, we're also some of the most family-oriented type of people that I've ever known. We all want to be a part of something. We all want to be a part of that family. Like, that's your whole goal with PB, and I know it, and it's commendable. And same thing with me. I mean, obviously I'm in business, so I need to make money off of it as well. But, I'm a 5th generation Nevada County resident. My family's been here since the 1880s for the gold rush. My great grandpa is the guy who taught me how to gold mine and do these things back when I was a kid. So for me, it's my heritage, right? That's why I care about it. That's why I chose to go into business with gold mining. And so it's not just all about business. It's about doing what I love and hoping to keep the community alive in a positive way. Because there's a lot of older guys out there that have run businesses, done stuff. But honestly, us younger people, the younger generation, we need to step up, and we need to set better examples, right? None of this old school pride and, that kind of bullshit, man. We need to be nice.
Well, and a lot of that, and the thing is, I'd like to touch on that, what you just said. A lot of that was the way that works for a long period of time. The problem with that is today's day and age, it's just not the same anymore. It's a completely evolved community, and that way of thinking doesn't further what we try to do as a whole as a community. It prevents and blocks and gets us to a point where we're failing at a lot of the different things that we want to succeed on. You know, whether it's a rally here or a piece of a forest being closed off, whatever the case may be, you know, that old way of thinking, well, yeah, I'll support you, but I'm not really going to support you, versus, you know, I'm going to do everything in my power to support you and make sure that you know that I'm doing everything I'm in my power to support you as a whole, as one voice, as one community. And, you know, the last couple of years, what's that? Go for it, Arrow.
Oh, nothing. Responding to Don.
What did he have to say?
I was like, is that a roller? And I was like, no.
Rolling a doobie.
Kind of looks like one, man.
Yeah, what are you doing over there, Arrow?
Yeah.
Why are you guys being all suspicious?
Wait.
Shit.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we have a few comments here. I wanted to touch on a few more things. But Alaska Gold Hunter says it's tough fighting to keep mining going when there are problems like that going around. I dealt with it in the early 2000s. The opposition uses others' negative statements against us. And that's completely true. I mean, Josh, go ahead and touch on that. I'll put that up for a little while.
Yeah, there was another comment up here too that kind of leads into that as well. Let me find it real quick. Michael Crawford says, we are here with a common goal, and that goal is to find gold. You know,
Yeah.
And you're right. But if we want to keep finding gold, you're not going to be able to unless we come together as one and start fighting, because we're getting run over legally, left and right. I
don't have a whole lot of details on it. I don't really know anything, but I know there is Dennis Peterson was telling me about it, and he might actually show up down there at Downeyville Days for the U.S. Congress of Mining Districts.
Mm.
So that is relatively new. So, but I think that's kind of the goal of that, is to bring, I don't know, but I get the feeling that it's like bringing all the states together and all the mining claim holders across the country together to be able to have a more solid voice when it comes to addressing, you know, our rights to be able to do this.
Yeah, I've spoke with the one you're talking about. Sorry, it's kind of a long name, so I can't remember it, of course.
Yeah. Well, I had to go like 3-4 times in my brain before I brought it up.
So I've spoke with him. He said he's going to be there. I told him that because he's not selling stuff, making money, that he could have a free booth. That's who I am. If you're a nonprofit trying to help the mining community, you can come for free. And so, you know, basically, I like his ideas. I like what he's doing. It's been tried before with the wrong leadership, because people start thinking dollar signs, you know, and ego. Once you get that kind of support and you get some money rolling in, and you're not doing so well financially yourself in life, but this thing you've created over here is starting to take off.
Yeah,
I've seen it like 100 times, man. People just, it changes them. So you have to have the right leadership in a situation like that. It should be.
And I don't know what Dennis's role is, or if he's a part of it other than a member or whatever, but, you know, Darren, you met him. Yeah, he is the guy that you'd want.
He's the guy you want on your team to fight the fight. I mean, this guy. What's that? No, we're talking about Dennis Peterson.
That's not the guy from Green.
No, David Peterson. We got a lot of Petersons in here, right?
Yeah, Dennis Peterson. Yeah. So shout out to Dennis Peterson if you're watching. I got a chance to sit down and talk with him over some of the situations that's going on over here in Washington State, and from every single person that I've talked to, and even talking to Dennis Peterson himself, that's the guy you want on your team 110%. That's the guy that you want to back 100%. That's the kind of leadership that is what needs to be represented in the community as a whole, across the states, not just one state in general.
Yeah.
You know, Dennis Peterson, an absolutely amazing individual, knows his ins and outs, extremely smart. You know, and that boils back down to what we were just talking about, is the simple fact that him being a part of something that's in motion already is a good thing for the community. And I can pray on my end of the spectrum that it works out in our favor. Now, again, on the other side of that, in the last however many years, every single time those kind of things have tried and has been brought to fruition, has been bad leadership, has not helped, has shut down more places than we can possibly put on our hands and toes. But
ultimately, it really comes down to being versed in law and versed
exactly
in interpretation of law, and having lawyers that know how to interpret the law to make the argument.
Right there.
Well, there's a few out there. I don't know any personally, but I know there are a few out there who do a good job. It's just that usually, I don't know that they have time to take, because this is a very large topic.
Yeah. Well, the thing is about the lawyers that are out there, they all keep trying to go after using, the Congressional Mining Act in 1873 or whatever it was. They keep trying to use that as their base, but they don't research the case law that's happened since then. And that's what you have to do and know, right? Is the actual case law that will support you. And then the opposition will come in with their own case law that doesn't support you. And then from there, the judge will decide whether or not it's your side is right or theirs is, right?
Well,
and getting the right judge matters too, because honestly, I think that it comes from the top. There are people at the very top that want to shut down anything in America that would create wealth, right? That's what gold mining does. We're not duplicating wealth. We are creating wealth from the ground.
Yeah.
And I think that there are people at the tippy top of the government that have focused on us, and they buy off the judges. They do everything they need to do. So it's kind of one of those fights where, we're a little bit screwed until we get some better people in publicly.
And better unity. If we can't have unity at the very base of the pyramid, how do you expect this community to build up that pyramid?
Well,
if we can't even, you see what I mean? So at the end of the...
Sorry, this stupid cell phone. I'm trying to get the angle right so I'm not so much out of the picture. But, that's another thing that I don't think the lawmakers are considering is it's not just an activity. And it's not just a way of making money. They don't consider it a community. They don't consider it a population of people that do this outside of professional miners, that go out this as a living. They don't consider that community, and that's part of it. They're regulating a community that they're not considering the impact of it. In Washington, when during 2020, when they said, oh, if you want to get online and give your opinion, 19 miners responded. I was one of them, and there was something like 72 responses, and a big portion of them were all signed on one letter. Businesses and yada, yada, yada. It's like, geez, that sounds like somebody went out and collected signatures. That's not something that, we're really available to do. We don't have time. Most of us go to work. We don't have time to go out day after day and collect signatures and make arguments. You think, but when we're out talking to people and they're like, what do you want to do? Oh, I'm a gold panner, I'll throw loose in, high bank, whatever, when that's possible. And, oh, wow, that's really cool. Da, 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 da. And they're really excited. I run into hikers on some of the trails going in that are further back that, they're curious about what we're doing. You tell them, they're like, oh, that's cool. Most people don't even know that's still a thing. And I'm like, this is a community. And part of the problem is that you're putting this, as far as 2020 goes, out on the internet. And there is an older generation that does not use the internet like the younger generation does. And those are the voices that aren't being heard. A lot of them probably don't even know. I can tell you just from watching the pages here, there are a lot of miners here that have no idea that the motor stuff has been outlawed to a certain degree. We won't get into that. There's a bunch of more stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that, especially within the PB community. We've seen that.
But then,
yeah,
on the other side of things, hold on, it's coming. On the other side, forget. This is we're becoming a victim of America, of the way America's going. Like I've said this a few times, and it drives me nuts. We have problems with child labor with Nike and Apple, but we still buy their products and wear their products. So what you're really telling me is that you don't want to see it, but you want to benefit from it. Now, if you're worried about the weather and climate change and all that stuff, the worst thing you can possibly do is put all the mining into other countries that aren't regulated like we are. So you're relying on India and China and all these places that have beautiful colored dirt, but you don't want to see it here. Well, guess what? You don't want to see it here. That means somebody else is out there polluting it. We're buying it from them, and we're still using it.
Yeah.
But you guys are sitting here going, well, no, but I like to hike that trail where up in gold country, and I wish I didn't see people do it. Bitch, you know what? That fucking trail was cut in 150, 200 years ago by people doing exactly this. It is there because of people like me and people like my friends here. And you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome, because all those nice meadows up there, way back there, yeah, that's a mining site that is just so beautiful now. Yeah, because it was reclamated, and now it's a little more user-friendly, so to speak. Don't forget that. That's my buddy Andy.
I want to hit on a couple things that you were saying there. One of them is, we all come together, blah blah blah, and people like yourselves have to go to work, and so you don't have time to do these things, to stand up for the community and stuff. And here's the deal with that. There's very few of us, maybe a couple hundred people throughout California that can actually do that, like myself, because this is what I do. This is my business. So fighting for the mining community, I am fighting for my business, right? So basically, it's our jobs, people like me in my situation, to stand up, to lead the way, to do those things. And you people who can't be involved in person, what you can do is we'll send out calls of actions, right? Go to this website, sign a petition, do this, do that, these type of things. Send us money, right? And that's a hard one today, because most people asking for money, you don't see any result. And that's been going on for about at least 8-10 years now. They're selling a family, not mining rights. Right. They're selling things that you think you're giving your money to help, but then there's never any help.
Results. Yeah.
Well, but at the same time with that, though, it's a bureaucracy is a thick mud. It takes so long to get anything done. From talking to Dennis, he put in a FOIA request, last year, to find out how many fish had actually been confirmed dead from mining activities.
Yep.
Oh, that took 9 months and 0.
Look this up. How many people have gone ill by eating fish and gotten mercury poisoning? We've done that one already. 0. And so that's the thing, is the facts are out there, right? And they're almost all in our favor. It's true. But the leadership, people like myself and other people who do this 24/7, want to fight each other, and I don't want to fight them, because the truth is I have a deeper sense for it. I'm protecting my heritage. That's it. And as long as I can pay my bills every month, I'm a happy guy. That's all I need.
Yeah.
And so I'm not there to fight with people. I'm not there to create strife. I mean, man, there's at least one guy a day who's got a problem with me. I'll tell you what, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, that in itself, and I'd say in the last like 6 months in general, you just have so much freaking diversity, and it's sickening. It's completely sickening. It gets
It
to a
is.
point where especially in the like in our PB community, gets to a point it's like, I hear this from this and hear this from that, and it's like, have you reached out to that individual and talked to that individual? Have you
Nope.
said anything to that individual between you two to get any resolve? No.
Nope.
So what happens is social media just strews it and creates this big non-existent bubble of hatred and whatever else, and there's just no need for any of it.
Well,
No need.
and it's true, but here's the thing is, if someone's going to go running around talking bad about other people, like I said, I'm the target of that very often.
Yeah.
But here's the thing is, do they ever talk to me?
No.
Do they ever try to resolve it for the betterment
No.
of the group?
Not whatsoever. Mm-mm.
So here's the deal is, those people need to be shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the funny thing is, too,
that's the thing is that we as a community need to set our own example, which is that if you're talking trash, number one, you better have proof, right? Number two, have you spoke to that person yet to try to handle it? And if not, we need to shut them down, shut them out, tell them, look, I'm not doing this with you. Here's the right thing that you should do. Go do it. Right. And so that's it. It's like peer pressure. And honestly, those people who do that and give no effort to try to make things right with the other person, those are dishonorable people. Right.
Well, and at the end of the day, as far as social media goes, in the last 5 years, I'd like to say, even before PB was created, I mean, once PB was created, I got to see all of that stuff. And to me, the first year was just completely mind-boggling. I'm like, here I am jumping into this community, giving it my all, and then I see just the diversity over the most simplistic shit. It's not even big, crazy things happening between one another. It's the most simplistic, like high school hearsay, and the first year for me, at the end of that first year of creating Prospecting Buddy and creating the family, at the end of the first year for me, I really took a step back and was like, well, is this really what I want to do? We're on a little over the third year now, and this is something that we want to wholeheartedly do. We want to try to connect the family as much as possible, the whole entire prospecting community. If you go on our freaking YouTube channel, you'll see all walks of life, the 54 episodes we've done, from this guy talking about this guy, this, just all of it. And at the end of the day, creating more positivity and reducing that negativity that this person says about this person truly does make a massive difference, especially not only in the community, but with how social media works these days. It really
it's about setting examples, man. And honestly, Jaron, I thank you for keeping through it, because I know even regarding me, you've heard lots of stuff. I know that. And because I already know what happens behind my back, right? Like, this stuff gets around. I hear all about everything. And none of I never hear of it from you, because you're that kind of guy. You keep everything to yourself, push out the bullshit, and keep your eye on the goal, right?
Yep.
But lots of other people tell me what everybody says. And, and that's the thing is, like, I just wanted to thank you for continuing to do what you're doing, because the truth is, man, that I think that you've got the real goal in mind, and just the name Prospecting Buddy, all of it is just exactly what we need, right? No bullshit. You push out the bullshitters, tell them to go up and create their own bullshit group.
Yep.
And continue the positivity in this group. And that's going to attract a lot of really good people. It's like my mind.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate you, and you too, Errol.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. Something else to consider. Somebody told me this 20 years ago is that, as you're moving through life and society and meeting different people and whatever, you're going to find people that are just, they have a comfort zone and it's in drama. If things aren't dramatic, if there isn't mud being stirred, a pot being stirred, then they're not comfortable.
Yeah,
And
that's
those are the that you got to keep an eye out for, because if you're associated with them and they are constantly digging up dirty water for no effing reason,
Yep.
Then you really don't need to be around it, because that's probably the number one thing you can do to better your life is just eliminate drama. Anybody who's coming up with drama for no fucking reason whatsoever, always having a problem, you start to think, okay, well, maybe this is about your personal choices, and I don't
Your
need to
personal opinions, your personal, yep.
I don't need to be advising you on how to live your life. Just go away.
Question motives and judge on what you see, not what they say, right? And if they're acting without honor, if they're doing things isn't right, don't go that way with them. Really is that simple. Look at what do they have to gain by trying to hurt someone else, right? Because anybody who's trying to hurt someone else, it's because they have something to gain for it. That's it, 100%.
110%, dude. I completely agree on that. And the reason why I agree so much on that is the simple fact that when you have something to gain as far as positivity goes, as far as a bigger vision, there's always going to be someone right beside you wanting to grab onto that, latch onto it, and feed off of it consistently, because that's all that they know and that's all that they will continue to do. And it was an extremely hard lesson for me. Extremely hard lesson. You can ask any of the guys and gals that take care of PB, man. It was one of the hardest things that I had to deal with, because
I've seen some of it myself with you.
Yeah, because here I was, and we won't get into a full story, but here I was thinking something completely different. And then instead of me saying, you know what, this is what's going to happen, I completely opened up and said, how do you guys feel about this? How would you guys react about this? And every single person in the PB family that takes care of PB on Facebook and in the podcast, they all said the same thing. And for me, that was a hard thing to understand, was if this person is being the way that they're being and pulling you down consistently, then clearly there's something wrong with that scenario. And if you look at the community, it's the same exact situation, no different whatsoever. You have specific individuals that have nothing better to do but to pull down certain people in the community and create just this muck that there's no reason for it to be created. And
so as a community, we have to start pushing those people out, and not push them out in a way like they're not welcome. Push them out in a way of setting an example that type of action is not welcome. They're always welcome. They're always welcome as long as they're on the positive side, as long as they're on the up and up. They're always welcome. They can fuck up 20 times and still welcome. As long as you're not ripping people off for money and that kind of stuff, then you're out forever. But and so I'd like to encourage people, specifically regarding myself, if anyone out there's got a problem with me, take it up with me. Take it up with me. I'm a very reasonable person. I promise I won't yell at you. I promise I won't cuss at you or use my influence to hurt you. I promise I'll never ever do that. And
and Prospecting Buddy completely supports you, man. I mean, from day one, you've been nothing but completely honest, extremely respectful. I mean, you've done a lot for the PB community in itself alone, aside from what you have going on in your own neck of the woods. You know what I mean? And that's one of the subjects I wanted to bring up in this podcast, was to let everybody know, we fully support you, man. I mean, you got a lot going on. We completely understand this, but you take the time of day to make sure that you give us the shout outs, the love, the appreciation, and things like that. So, with that being said, I mean, you got our support, man. 100%, dude. 100%.
Thank you. Everybody, and you as well, but everybody has my support. That's the whole thing. Is if I can help somebody, feel free, call me, please, and I'll do my damnedest to help you in the very best way that I can, because it's about the community as a whole.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry about my ego. I don't need to worry about climbing a ladder, being at the top. I'm not worried about any of that. What I'm worried about is preserving my heritage and making sure that we get ourselves into a spot to where we can be effective against the powers that come against us. And I know you are exactly in the same mindset. So again, thank you.
Man. Yeah, fuck yeah.
What else bothers me is that, specifically here in Seattle, they celebrate mining. They do. Miners landing down at the waterfront, Prospect Park, Pioneer Square. And it drives me absolutely batshit. And it's like, look, I agree. We need to keep the spirit of the pioneer spirit alive. That's what I consider it. That's why I started gold panning. Is I want to participate in that history of our country. I mean, let's go wander to the void and see what we can find. Yeah. And that's something that's a problem with a lot of things nowadays. We're losing technology. I mean, can't believe how important antiquing has become. Because a lot of that's going away. There's a lot of things that you're just not going to see anymore unless some guy kept it in his garage forever. And I kind of feel the same way, and it's more important than ever now. Mining is, because you can't have industry without it. Yeah. And we don't need that. We need to. I'm like, you better put your phone down. Stop driving your car.
The hypocrisy, right? They're like, we don't want that in America, and then they're like, we're against child work, that kind of thing. But then they don't realize. Go look at a gold mine in Africa and these other places where the cell phone companies buy their gold from to put into your cell phone, into your computers, into all of your electronics.
Yep.
And they're like, we can't have that here, but it's okay over there. But the thing is, they're unaware. They keep themselves unaware on purpose. And
what else is funny is they don't realize that they're doing the green thing by recycling their electronics, and I agree that's a good thing. But really, the recycling companies are mining you. That's what they're doing, because they're not recycling all those computer parts for look, they're collecting all the chips and they're putting them in large bins, and when they fill a
certain amount
worth of those bins, they ship that off to, I think last one I heard was Greenland, and then that company smelts the whole thing down. They take their cut of the gold, and then they send like 30 ounces back to whoever sent the container there.
Yeah.
How they make their money. So you're doing a good thing, but they're doing exactly what you're bitching about.
Yeah, we got a good comment here by Laura. She says everything is either grown or mined. Everything. People don't realize this.
What's funny to me about that is gardening. If you're growing it, you're still mining. You're mining the resources the earths are providing for you.
Yeah.
It just so happens that you're able to plant it and renew it and yada, 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 yada.
But honestly, right now we're preaching to the choir. And I'm not saying, that that's a bad thing. But what I am saying is the thing that we need to connect is how to get those points across to other people.
100%, man.
Outings and stuff don't have to be about getting together and go gold mining. They can be about go to your local museum, do their yard work for them, have the local newspaper cover it, right? Start giving miners good names. If you have a public mining area that's in danger, people are wanting to shut it down, get a hold of the guys involved in that and tell them, hey, we're a group of gold miners. We really like this place. We would like to do a trash cleanup for you once a month,
Yep.
And so it's that kind of public outreach that will get us involved into other people's pockets and other people's minds that are the leaders of our opposition, right? And that's what we need to do. It's like PLP's reclamation dredging they've got going on. Dude, that's a big hit. It really is a big hit. And just like what Laura said right there, we need to start having the reputation for cleaning the environment. And she's 100% right, because our opposition are the people who claim that they want to clean the environment, but then all they do is go out and get millions, hundreds of $1,000,000 in grant money and use it against us and fill their pockets with very, very little.
And do a lot of half-ass work. Lots and lots and lots of half-ass work.
Very little.
I think that's a good point. It takes me back to being a kid and driving down the highway and seeing, litter cleanup for the next 3 miles is sponsored by, the local 4-H
this company or that company. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, that's not a bad idea. Maybe we should start getting mining groups together and say, hey, well, let's put some money to the state to do a cleanup, or whoever, to clean up this section of highway and post a sign.
That's exactly what we mean. Exactly. We're so far behind. We're not ready to go to court and start winning, right? We need a lot more backup before we get to that point.
The problem is, sometimes it doesn't matter how logical and that you're speaking. If you're speaking to deaf ears, it doesn't mean that you stop.
Actions show, right?
Right.
Well, that's the thing too, is actions always speak louder than words, and that's one thing that I've always went by my my whole entire life. Actions will always speak louder than words. And if there's no actions being done, then there's no words to be spoken. Period. The second actions start happening, that's when words start being spoke. And then the snowball effect starts happening, and then the community jumps on board with it. The problem, going back to what we said, the problem that we're having is if we have one person trying to create a snowball effect, and then this person or this group or this whatever is deflecting what this person is doing unintentionally or even intentionally, one or the other, then it defeats the purpose. So but
honestly, only if the beginning of the snowball guy, only if he lets it. Because here's the thing is, if what you're doing is righteous and what you're doing is right, and you feel that you're on God's path, like I said earlier, no man can take that from you.
I agree to a certain extent. The problem is like we were talking about earlier with leaders. The problem is if you have shitty leaders, those leaders can affect what's going on anywhere.
Less
you
support.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue, is by having positive leaders across the board in the mining community.
Yeah.
Then you have a lot less likely chance of allowing those things to ruin the good that's being done, the positivity that's being, put out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but as long as there's more positivity being done than negativity, then it'll always prevail every single time. Yeah. Time and time again, you've seen it over the years with court cases. You've seen it over the years with different situations that's been going on legally. I mean, it always prevails. Always.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right, man. And so I have a challenge for everyone out there listening. If someone comes to you and they're going to tell you about a problem that they have about another person and that you should have the same problem, join their side, I challenge you to tell them to take it up with that person or say nothing at all, because it's not good for any of us. And that is the type of leadership that we need right there. We need 100%. To make it known and make it clear that anything that someone does that's going to hurt the community as a whole is not welcome. And we have to set that example. And once that example is set, it will take time. But once that example is set,
it'll spread like a wildfire, man.
It'll spread like wildfire because it's right, because it's righteous.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. I completely agree. I completely
always-
100% agree.
it always wins. So if anybody out there watching this has an issue with me, send me a message. Talk to me. Let's work it out. I'm a nice guy, man. I promise. Like I said, I won't be yelling at you or anything like that.
Badass individual right here. This is the second time we've had him on the podcast. I think it's the third time we've had him on the podcast, actually. Second time, third time, one of those. Again, I have Reinke brain. I'm gonna start calling it Reinke. I got Reinke brain. But this is the third time we've had him on the podcast. We love this individual. We support the hell out of him. Great guy. If you hear something, reach directly out to him. He'll answer and he'll explain what's going on, and go from there. Take it with a grain of salt kind of deal. Don't believe everything you hear. And I know there's a lot of individuals, especially in today's day and age with social media, there's a lot of individuals that just hear something and run with it like a freaking freight train. You hear something about any of the guys that are trying to better the community, reach out to them. You have Facebook Messenger, send them a message, see what happens. You never know that you might end up messaging them and becoming really good friends with them. And you never know. Don't ever take that chance and assume, because the second you assume is the second you went wrong. And I've learned that the first year of running PB, I assumed a lot of different things, and I've learned from my mistakes. And here we are, third year running strong, almost 9,000 members, 50-something podcast episodes. So it's just one of those things. You got a problem with someone, reach out to them directly. Don't just listen to hearsay, because it's not going to do you any good.
And chances are hearsay is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, people without honor are the ones that run around talking crap. And again, like I said, they're the ones who have something to gain by taking that person down, which means that they're jealous of that person, right? And so you're going to side with the dishonorable, jealous people. Come on, guys. Use honor, man. Use your brain. We all know what's right. You don't have to kiss anybody's ass out there. None of us are better than the other person. It's just some of us are a little further up that ladder. That's the difference.
Don Wentz says, "Hey, Josh, I got a issue with you. You're too damn far away."
Oh, is that Don Wentz? One stud puppy?
Yeah, that's Don Wentz.
That's a lame name, dude. What the
hell? Laura says, "Don't use social media to vent about minors. Contact them directly about it." That's exactly. 110%. It'll better the community so much faster if you just reach out to that individual if you have a problem with that individual. By spreading uneducated opinions just makes for a worse pot that's being stirred. And I will tell you right now, in the last 6 months, I've seen, out of the last 3 years of running PB, the last 6 months, I've seen so much uneducated opinions about different individuals, whether it's businesses, whether it's specific individuals. And every single time I've ever said, well, hey, what's going on? This, that, and the other. Oh, well, this person, did you give him a call? Did you? Well, no, I don't feel like I need to. That's your issue right there.
About it?
That's your issue right there. Contact them directly. And if you don't resolve something, then it is what it is. Let bygones be bygones. But at least you made that effort to resolve it. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, and the way to keep yourself in that mode is to stay group oriented, not just for yourself, but for the group itself, right? For the better good of gold miners. And that's how you keep your mind straight in your actions. Because it's pretty hard to get behind on things. And, you get upset about something with somebody and you want to lash out and do these things. Man, don't do it. Tell yourself, I'm not going to think about this for a week. I'm going to just let it go. And then see how you feel after that week. If you feel it would be honorable for you to lash out, because after you cool down, man, I guarantee you're going to, if you did go to Facebook or other places and people and start talking trash, you're going to feel dumb about that. Whether you admit it or not.
Met the person and you only know them online, don't even worry about it.
Yeah, man. What's the big deal? Or you hear something from this guy and
the talker, right on.
You know what I see most of the time with people who take sides in those things? It's the leadership. And so you have someone who's in a leadership position, and then you have the people who kiss his ass, right? And then he speaks poorly to the ass kissers about someone else or something else, and then they just go with it because they want that leader's approval, right? And that's why I say I blame these issues on leadership, because if they were goal oriented towards the community as a whole, not just themselves, then they would know that the best thing to do is to keep their damn mouth shut. And I have a lot of, not a lot, but there's a couple guys out there I'm not fond of. You won't see me talking about them to you in person or online, because for me, it's about the community itself.
But he'll mail you a letter.
What's that? What'd you say, Arrow?
If you want to know, he'll mail you a letter.
You get a personal letter, signature and all.
You'll have my signature on it. You can save that. No.
Oh, geez Louise.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. Well, the basic principles is what we spoke about the last half hour. I mean, you got an issue with somebody, please try to resolve it with them themselves. Social media is one hell of a drug. It really is. I love to quote that all the time because in reality, it's a lot of fun. You get to talk to individuals that you never thought you'd talk to and meet up with. Arrow's a good example. Rob McGuire is a good example. We didn't know each other. We decided the hell with it. Let's go on a road trip. We went on a road trip. Best times of our lives. So social media is one hell of a drug. But at the same time, you have to take it with a grain of salt because you will see a lot of disruption, negativity, and things like that, especially and specifically in the mining community. But as long as you follow a super common, easy principle, reach out to that individual you're having problems with, I promise you it'll be resolved much quicker than you would imagine it being resolved.
And if you can't resolve it, have honor and don't bring it to other people. Let it go.
Yeah. No recipe for warm milk.
I can't back warm milk, man. I've had warm milk. I don't like warm milk. But I get what you're saying there. I get the analogy.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Don Wendt. Don Wendt, man, he's a great guy. He's another one of those people that you don't see running around talking trash. He does a lot for the community, even though you almost never meet the guy in person.
You know what I call him, and I'm not gonna bullshit. And I actually, Don, I know you're watching. I haven't said this to Don or to any of the other mods or anybody. This guy is the Wizard of Oz. He's the guy behind the curtain, pressing all the buttons and turning all the wheels and operating all.
It's because he sits in his house all day long on Facebook.
I love it. I love that guy. Don is just magnificent. Shout out to you, man.
Big shout out to Don. He's a great guy, man. He's done a lot for this community in the past few years. And really like he said, Wizard of Oz, you don't know a lot of what he's done, but I guarantee you he's done it, and he deserves all of our respect. Yep.
I totally agree with that 100%. He says, this guy. Oh, dang, too many comments. Oh, here it is. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys jumping on. We're going to go ahead and post the PayPal donation link for the up-and-coming group dig. Help Paul Scheiber with some of the food costs, some of the gas costs, things like that. We did a donation run, 3 weeks ago, Arrow, I believe it was, 3-4 weeks ago. Turned out absolutely phenomenal. We were able to cover costs for StreamYard and a few other things, and the website's coming shortly. I know I've mentioned that a few different times on the podcast. We really want to bring you something that you guys genuinely enjoy, so it's going to take some time. The last 2 websites we've had were absolutely amazing, but they just weren't where we wanted them to be. We want a lot of different ideas that all 8 of us have coming to fruition on that website. So I'll go ahead and post that donation link. If you guys have, $5-10, couple of dollars, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Anything you guys can donate to help out with the group dig that's coming up with Paul Scheiber on Josh Reinke's claim. And then we also have group digs coming up back east with Jim McIntyre that we're hoping to establish and a few other things. So if you guys can donate a couple of dollars, we'd absolutely appreciate it. It definitely does go to a good cause. And like Josh says, you guys will see all the proof like I did last time. we were able to fund the website for what was it, the year before last year. We ended up collecting funds to actually have the website go for a full 365 days. It was instant. It was within 24, 48 hours. We were able to collect the funds, pay for another year of that website. It was absolutely amazing. And then we just did a recent one 3 weeks ago. Absolutely phenomenal. You guys are massive supporters of what we're doing. So I'll drop that link in the YouTube here. And that way, if you guys can donate just a couple of dollars, that'd be absolutely awesome. Helps Paul Scheiber, helps PB family. And in reality, it brings more positivity to the community. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give a few more shout outs. Arrow, are you able to do shout outs? I know you're on your cell phone.
You guys want to give something away real quick?
One.
Ooh, what's a
We can do-
podcast without a giveaway?
Right? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so I got 2 1-year memberships to the Reinke Mining Group and 2 1-year memberships to the ICMJ. Well, subscriptions to the ICMJ.
Ooh, man.
About $500 worth of stuff.
That's absolutely amazing. In fact, you know what, Josh? In fact, I'm going to subscribe to the ICMJ right this second before we do the giveaway. I have been spacing multiple times to subscribe to the damn magazine for the last couple of years, and I've been talking about it multiple times. I've seen the digital front page covers on those damn magazines, and I don't know why, but I have not subscribed. So I am going to subscribe, and I want that damn magazine at my doorstep ASAP.
You got it, right? And another thing I'm going to do just real quick. I know we're kind of stretching time here. I'm going to dedicate one page to YouTubers in the mining industry that we can start advertising YouTubers and stuff. So I'll hook you guys up with that. And maybe we can trade some commercials on your channel for that type of a thing. But that's the thing about the ICMJ, man. It really needs to get up into the electronic era. That's the only way a magazine can survive. So I want to bring more of that stuff into it. So let's talk about that soon.
Dude, let's promote the shit out of ICMJ. I know that was one of the topics we wanted to. I know, but ICMJ, I'm telling you, that magazine has been around, as you've mentioned, for a long time. We got to keep that rocking. 1931. We got to keep that rocking and rolling, and we really have to shift gears with that magazine and just really bring in the wholesome of the community into that magazine and really get that thing rocking and rolling. Big time. Big time.
And we always accept article submissions. So if anyone out there, you don't have to be an expert. Sometimes we'll run stories. Typically, we try to focus more on, education. So you don't have to be an expert, but if you feel that you have tips to give to prospectors, submit it. Just send me an email, josh@icmj.com. We'll look at your articles. We prefer them to be around 15 to 2,200 words with at least 5-6 pictures. More is better. And you want to be a part of it. I'm picky, but not on name.
He's like, but no.
You don't have to be a big name person, right? You just have to have a good article. And if anybody out there would like to submit something, please do. Because for me, the magazine is nothing without the community, right? Honestly, it really is 100%. Nothing without the community. So everybody, please feel free to get involved.
Yeah, are there any specific topics that you think would do well?
Honestly, there's so many different topics. As long as it has to do with gold mining and helping other people become better prospectors or miners, that's it. I mean, we've had guys like write articles on how to rebuild a underground drill, right? That helps prospectors. We've had guys talk about metal detecting, or even just tell a funny story. Something that would really captivate the people when they read it because it's this crazy ass story or something.
Right.
And that's there. It can be anything. And I don't guarantee that what you submit will be published, but at the same time, I want to include as many people in that magazine as possible. I don't want to just keep it to the same large name people every month.
Yeah.
Without, like I said, without the community, the magazine's nothing. So please, get involved.
Definitely.
You have a better chance of getting in there than you think.
I'm going to send the link again. He has his email on this link here, as you guys can see there. You guys got any content, shoot it down there. Jump on his website, send him an email, go on Facebook, reach out to him. For the TikTokers, for the YouTubers, let's get your content out there. Let's get you guys in that ICMJ magazine. Let's get this thing blown up. Let's freaking rock and roll this thing. I know you guys have some amazing content. I've seen it time and time again all across social media. So you guys, there's the link right there, ReinkeGoldMining.com. Jump on that bad boy, shoot them an email, give them a call, reach out social media. I'm telling you, let's get you in the magazine. I know you guys would absolutely love it. When I was featured with the PB family in a magazine, it was just such a surreal moment, and I know you guys would absolutely love to be in the ICMJ magazine. So get your ass over there, submit everything and anything. Let's blow Josh Reinke up. Let's make him so damn busy, it's not even funny. Right, Josh?
I'll take it. Let's go. Hey, and the same thing goes for the GPA magazine. You don't have to not mention it. Those guys are great people over there. Amber, the one who's taking care of the
Amber
magazine,
White. Amber
doing
White.
an awesome job.
Yeah.
So we got, literally for gold miners specifically, it's all you got, me and GPAA. That's it. And if these things go to the wayside, then that's a shame.
It is a big shame. Magazines, as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, a lot of people don't really read magazines anymore. And that's honestly, it's not due to the magazine in itself. It's due to the content in the magazine. Now, if you really think about it, at the end of the day, when people read a book, they dive into the book. And that's why there is #1 bestsellers. That's why books are still huge. Digital books on Nooks, digital books on tablets. It's still a huge thing in today's day and age. And magazines just have to get with the times. That's the reality of it. They have to get, and within this community, there's so much content that can be put into these magazines to really reinvigorate and take them to that next level, big time.
Exactly, man. And we also the ICMJ, which I see someone mentioned, is actually called ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal, which that is the full name. We also offer online only subscriptions. So you can go there, pay less, and get the online version where you go there, you can download it, you can look at it online, look at all the articles separately. So if you don't want to sit down with a magazine and read it, you prefer to be online, we have that option as well. And
that's awesome.
Most magazines do. So
that's absolutely awesome. It's much easier with the digital age nowadays. I mean, that's the reality of it. People's attention span, I think, was scientifically proven at, I think it's like 2.5 minutes. That's the reality of it. So, within those 2.5 minutes, if you captivate that audience, they will continue to read and continue to enjoy what you're bringing into their life and into their brains as they're receiving it. So let's go ahead and blow this magazine up. I know you guys are going to start blowing Josh up. And if you guys do, by the way, mention PB somehow. Say, hey, this was because of PB. Josh needs to be full of it. There's a comment section on the website, when you go there to order a subscription, you can add a comment to it. Mention PB for sure, man. And I'll make sure all that gets back to Jaron and Arrow as well. That'd be awesome. Absolutely awesome. My beer is half gone now. How about that giveaway? I'll tell you what, my beer is about half gone too. I say let's kick some ass.
So I'm like looking for charging cables, and it's like going.
Mine's 3/4 of the way gone.
My final countdown, when I got 7% left.
I go incognito with the beers, that way.
Hey, that's good. See, I do this thing, I do that thing.
Right.
I've learned my lesson with copyrights. Believe you me, I've learned my lesson with copyrights and being tons of fun with
Yeah.
that stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the giveaway. So Arrow, I'm gonna have you put the special word in there, and then we will start doing the name wheel.
What's the word of the night here?
Oh, well, someone kind of called you out on one of the words, but I know it's I know it's one of the words we probably don't want to use too much of.
Oh, the B word.
Yeah, the B word, the big B word.
So what,
Grab a word.
Email dog in? I mean, come on.
Now, pick a random word.
Okay.
Pick a random word.
Here it comes, folks. You're going to see a comment from me.
Oh, okay.
And here we go. There
Here
it
we
is.
go.
Or anything under the B word, put your name in.
And this is for Mr. Josh.
Hurry up. I only got 6% left. If
And
I
Josh.
disappear, sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
This guy. All right, so first giveaway prize is going to be by Josh Reinke. And what is this prize, Mr. Josh?
Tonight, in all, we're going to do 2 one-year memberships to the Reinke Mining Adventures and Services. We offer access to over 30 mining claims throughout California, along with monthly outings in the summertime, which the outings are a big bang, man. We get at least 70, 80 people that show up to each outing. We'll do them on different claims in different areas. Most outings, I end up bringing a giant tri-tip dinner for everybody, and that's all free included in your membership. Guarantee you can't go wrong. And our claims are good stuff. And this group is fairly young, so our claims are not beat.
That's freaking badass, dude.
Yeah.
Like some of the other claims.
Yeah, I stopped that.
All right. So with that being said, Arrow, go ahead and mention some names. Let's get them in the name wheel. Let's get rocking and rolling here.
We're going to put Dallas Edwards in there. What's up, Dallas?
What up? All right, let's do it.
We got Clifton Summer. He's a multiple-time winner. Put some more.
Muck and plaster. I won last year, so I should probably disqualify myself. Well, join up, man. If you're that lucky, it's yours. If you're that lucky, it's yours.
Texas Warlock. We'll do that one. Philip Berry, maybe? I don't know.
All right, so Arrow, nice and slow. So you're on a phone. It's a little. So we got Dallas Edwards, Clifton Summers,
David Villa. He said, "Quit your bitching." That counts.
David, you're in there.
I'm going to say Texas Warlock.
Okay.
Michael Enochsen. Enoksen.
Michael Pesnison.
Lost Dog Mining and Prospecting. We are working on that. The channel is created. Now it's just time to make some content. We're going to work on.
Mucking Plastic.
Okay.
And then there's Mike.
Michael Enochsen. Oh, my bad. I mispronounced that again.
I don't know. You could have said it right. I don't know. Kevin Single's in here. Harger. Lee Skillings. Money King.
Okay.
Mr. Michael Crawford. What's up, buddy? Dan Zoller. Cricket Hook.
Okay.
Oh, Dan's here. That guy wins everything. You're all screwed. Dan always wins all of them.
Did you
He's been doing that for like 10 years.
Did you get Joseph Gill?
Joseph what?
Gill?
Yep.
All right, cool. Dan Zoller, did I say him? Yeah.
You got
Yeah, I
Miner
got Dan.
Ma Gold. Miner Ma Gold. Hi, Miner Ma Gold.
Yeah, I got that one in there.
Gold Monkey Prospecting. Where's our Gold Monkey?
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm looking. Gold. Yeah,
Barbara Garcia.
Mike Ferguson.
Let's see. I already got Mark.
Cricket.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so all right, I'm going to name the names real quick. This is for the first giveaway. If you didn't hear your name, go ahead and drop your name in right under One Stud Puppy. He said B word was so where they knew where to look. All right, so we got Dallas Edwards, Clifton Summers, David Vila, Texas Warlock, Michael Pesnison, Mucking Placer, Michael Enixon, Kevin Single, Michael Crawford, Lee Skillings, Dan Zoller, Cricket Hooks, Miner Magold, Joseph Gill, Mark Ferguson, Gold Monkey Prospecting, and Barbara Garcia. If you did not hear your name, please drop your name down in there, and that way I can get it in. You got 1 minute. It is 8:30 on the dot, on the money, where I am. You got 1 minute. 8:31, we're going to spin this damn thing.
Boss Dog, put your name in there. You got to type your name with the B word.
Oh, bro, I thought the B word was beer. Yeah, I wish too. Norman Ching, gotcha. Norman Ching, gotcha. Jordan, gotcha. All right, who else we got?
I'm down the creek for some reason the charging cables aren't working.
Boss Dog Mining and Prospecting. Make sure I got you in here. No, I don't got you in there.
Hey, so you guys know Jordan Harger is a great friend of mine. He's also the person that writes the Ball Mill legislative update and handles a few other things for the magazine as well. He's a great guy. Give a big shout out to him.
I'll be back.
Shout out to you. Yeah, go for it, man. Shout out to you, Jordan Harger. Welcome to the PB podcast, man. Hopefully it wasn't too crazy for you this evening. We like to let things loose and have a ton of fun.
Oh, he's used to it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not your typical podcast. We like to let things loose and say what we want to say and bring positivity to the community. So appreciate you being here on the podcast this evening.
Just keep your shirt on.
Just keep your I totally agree to that. All right, let's see. Someone get Arrow a charger. I know, Arrow. Hurry up. Come on, man. I got all day. All right, so
Leave me alone. I'm going to be a better old man.
all right, so I'm going to name the names. We are officially cut off. It's 8:32 now.
Left.
What?
We're charging with 1% left.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Down to the wire.
Yeah,
why don't you do that at 6?
Well,
I got it plugged into a USB hub here, and it's like charging. Just kidding.
Jeez,
Just kidding.
Yeah.
This guy. All right. So we're gonna spin the wheel. I'm gonna name the names real quick. If you don't have your name in here, you missed out on the first giveaway. That is the God's honest truth. So we got Dallas Edwards, Clifton Summers, David Vila, Texas Warlock, Michael Pesnison, Mucking Placer, Michael Enixon, Kevin Single, Michael Crawford, Lee Skillings, Dan Zoller, Cricket Hooks, Miner Magold, Joseph Gill, Mark Ferguson, Gold Monkey Prospecting, Barbara Garcia, Michael Cohen, Norman Ching, Jordan Harger, and Boss Dog. All right. So let's do it to it. Drum rolls. Come on. Let's get at least one or two of them. I know we're not on Facebook no more, so it's kind of hard. Here we go. And the winner is
Josh Reinke.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mr. Gold Monkey Prospecting.
Right.
Dan, Mr. Dan, Gold Monkey Prospecting. You are the winner. So, with that being said, without further ado, make sure you reach out to Josh Reinke himself. Personal message over to him. He will get you taken care of. Congratulations. That's absolutely awesome. Gold Monkey Prospecting.
If you're not on Facebook, you can send me a text on my business line at 530-913-1563. I'll go ahead and put that in the comments as well.
Yes. And that's also on the website, correct?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yes. Perfect.
So just get a hold of me, and the way it works is I give you a promo code. You sign up, go through all the sign up process, put in the promo code, and it'll make it free for that first year.
Bam. First year free, man. Get your ass over here to the West Coast and make it happen, dude. Now you have no excuses. You have to go to your girlfriend, your wife, let her know it's happening. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. It's a done deal. You're getting your ass over here. You're going to check out the Pacific Northwest. I tell you what, you're going to love it. Enjoy it. Nothing better. All right. What's that, Earl?
I said that's awesome.
Absolutely. Amazing guy, too. Really good guy. Great YouTube channel. A lot of fun. He sent me a care package. Absolutely amazing care package. Guy's just a freaking hoot. Good guy. All right. So for the second giveaway, this is going to be the second 1-year membership, correct?
Let's do the ICMJ. Mix it up.
Let's do it. All right. So for this giveaway, it's going to be the ICMJ magazine 1-year subscription. I hope you guys all win this. Unfortunately, you guys won't. Only one. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get some drum rolls in there and let's make this thing happen. Miners care for miners. All right. So the winner is, let's do it to it. Come on. It's going to be Mr. David Vila. Mr. David Vila. Congratulations, my man. You just got a 1-year subscription of the ICMJ magazine. Badass magazine. Badass individual. Reach out to Josh Reinke. Like I was saying earlier, he has his phone number on his website. I'm going to throw down the website link one more time. That way, for the folks that have one, you could just jump on that website, check out his memberships, everything that he has rocking and rolling over there in his neck of the woods. And then he also has his email and his phone number on that website, so you can either reach out to him there or go over to Facebook if you're not already friends with him and send him a message. So congratulations.
Facebook or text is best. Honestly, email is not a good route.
Email is a tough one these days, man. I'll be completely honest. I have so many unread emails in my prospecting buddy at gmail.com. It's not even funny. I try to get through them.
It's tough.
I try to get through them. There's the link there in the YouTube. All right, so now we are on the third giveaway. All right, let's do it to it. So
this will be the 1 year to Reinke.
1 year membership to the Reinke Claims.
Oh, and let me say this too. Tonight, when we're done here, I'll be gone. So, I mean, it'd be best if you try to get a hold of me more like Monday or Tuesday of next week, because I have an outing this weekend. I will have 0 cell phone service. And tonight, when we're done, I'm not even looking at my phone. So, it might be best to try it, Monday or Tuesday next week.
Perfect. Good deal. If you guys don't know, now you know. So make sure you reach out to him. Further in the week would probably be a better idea. Josh is a pretty busy guy. You got a lot of shit going on. So as long as you if you send him a message or a text with his phone number, he'll be able to receive it instantly versus trying to read through all the emails that he got going on. So messenger, text, you'll be taken care of. All right. So for the third giveaway is going to be the 1 year membership. So let's get some drum rolls in the building. Come on. And if you guys haven't, I always suck at this. If you guys haven't, drop a like on the YouTube, subscribe to the channel. It helps us. It really helps us. So that way, every single podcast that we bring to you guys, you get an instant notification. I'd love to sit here and say, hey, do that with the Facebook link, but Facebook screwed us. So YouTube, show some love. I'd appreciate it.
If you're sitting here watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, shame on you.
Shame on you indeed. I agree. In fact, we need to take some of these names off of here now, right? No.
Yeah. You got to be a current subscriber to win. Go hit that button right now.
All right, we got the drum rolls. Let's see who the third winner is going to be for this evening. All right, 1 year membership is going to be Mr. Michael Crawford. Mr. Michael Crawford, congratulations, my dude. Michael's a good friend of mine. Michael's a really good friend of mine. He supports PB to the T, man. I mean, absolutely amazing guy.
Where's he?
Awesome.
Where's he from?
He is based out of AZ, if I remember right. He is based out of Arizona. If I'm wrong, slap the shit out of me, but I'm pretty darn sure he's based out of Arizona. This guy, I mean, holy hell. This guy goes out there and kicks ass and takes names when he goes out digging. Amazing guy. Definitely a great person to win this. So, Michael, my dude, send me a personal text message. I'll send you Josh's number. You'll get hooked up, taken care of. So, congratulations. Hell yeah. Good freaking deal. All right.
Thanks, Josh.
What's that?
I said, thanks. That's awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, no, that's bad to the bone, dude. Like I said, this podcast so far has been an absolutely amazing podcast, just like the last two, man. We love to have a ton of fun with you, dude. And I know we're gonna have you many more podcasts to come. It's just
You got it.
absolutely freaking. Huh?
Don went saying donation again. Remember to bring up the donation again.
Yeah, I forget about that, Don. I'm really freaking bad at that. Holy crap.
This means you're not greedy. Good for you.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Like anything that can be supported with PB, we don't force feed people. We don't push it down. If you can donate, you can donate. If not, it is what it is. I'll personally cover it. Biggest thing for the donation link for tonight is Paul Schreiber. Bless his heart. He wants to feed people for that night. And, that tugged on my heartstrings. I want to make sure that everybody that goes to that group dig is fed and fed well. And I know the PB community and the community in general will make sure that's taken care of without a doubt. So,
and Paul will also have a donation jar set up at the barbecue itself too.
So Alaskan Gold Hunter says, I want to help the outing. If 3 people donate 25, I'll send them a 1/4 gram of pay dirt bags.
Wow. Hell yeah. That's absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. See, this is what community is about, guys. Look at this shit.
Thank you, man.
With Bo Weaver last week. I got David Peterson to help out Bo Weaver too. And as soon as the class or, the whatever is done with the school, he's going to post some pictures and video or whatever of the school and how it went.
Yeah, he's teaching a class of like 20 or 30 kids, Josh.
Very cool, man.
And we reached out to Dave and we're like, hey, man, is there any way you can send what was it, 20 sluices?
Dave for 30 pocket sluices if he would
30 pocket sluices.
And they'd spit those out. I sent him some gold and some other goodies, and then I do believe Alaska Gold Hunter helped them out as well.
Next generation.
What it's all about, folks.
That's what it's all about.
And that's what we need right there.
That's what we need, my man. Yeah. I agree 100%. All right, so with that being said, we got the last giveaway of the evening, and then we're going to jump off. So with that being said, and without further ado, Mr. Don Went, let's go ahead and get some drum rolls in the building. Drum rolls, please. Let's get at least 1 or 2, and we'll get this rocking and rolling. Here we go. All right, so the winner of the last and final giveaway for Mr. Josh Reinke himself goes to Mucking Placer. Mr. Mucking Placer. Didn't he say he won last time? That's funny.
You can win again. It's just another free year.
That's
but
awesome.
You said last and final, but we still have one more ICMJ subscription to do.
Oh yeah, because we did 3. I apologize.
Stands.
What's that, Arrow?
Mucking Placer pointed to the stands before the back.
Mucking Placer, that guy, his own YouTube channel. He does the Arkansas diamond digs or whatever.
No. Mucking Placer is here in Washington State.
I get them mixed up all the time. I don't know why I do that.
Just did about some Blewett
Muddy Miner, and Mucking Placer. Muddy Miner, Mucking Placer. That's why.
Right, say that 10 times fast.
I got Reinke brain.
Yeah. Now, he's a buddy of mine. We go out digging a lot. We met on the river, and we've been digging together for, 5 or 6 years now, every now and again. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, always fun to see him on here.
That's awesome. Absolutely.
Arrow, can you come down in August?
I don't know yet. If I did, I'd probably fly down and rent a car or something. But I might be having to go to Illinois right around then. So, to go see the grandbabies and my daughter's new house. So we will see.
Well, find somebody, man. I want PB to be there and represent themselves at the show.
I'm thinking we can force Don Went out of his clamshell, and if not Don Went, for sure Paul. I know one of those two guys, and I know you guys are watching, and we're gonna pressure the shit out of you guys. But we're gonna do another donation run to where their fuel is taken care of. Their whole trip to get over there to actually broadcast for the Digging Deeper podcast and for Downeyville Days. I think we can make that happen for sure. We got guys in those neck of the woods. We just got
to give you a free table as well. You can come in and set up, sell shirts, whatever you want, or just pass information about you guys out. That's all free.
Give away some free shirts.
All right.
There you go. We hold raffles, a bunch of raffles during that show. That's something I didn't mentioned too much earlier, but we have a raffle every 2 hours, and there's
Holy
probably
shit.
10 to 15 things in each raffle. I
Holy
mean,
shit.
Keene Engineering donates most of it. Great guys over there. Honestly,
Pat,
Keene,
Pat's amazing. He donated 2 A52S sluices when we had him on the podcast. So we had him on the podcast once, and then we were doing a random podcast with another great individual. And he put in the comment, "Oh, let's do another A52." I'm like, "Holy shit. All right, cool." And it was absolutely amazing experience.
Pat and
Great
Mark
guys.
both are super great guys, man. I really like them, and they
Yeah.
support so many different gold shows. You guys have no idea how much stuff they donate. So if you're going to buy something mining equipment wise, go to Keene. They really are the best, and not just because they support us, but because I like their equipment. To me, it's the best. So anyway, continue on.
Well, and that's to get back on here. We need to put the donation link up again. So Alaska Processor was saying that he's willing to donate the 3 quarter gram pay dirt bags. So I think how we'll handle that is in a week we'll see how many donations came in, and we will number them, and then we'll reach out to him and have him pick 3 numbers out of the total numbers sent in, and those people will get their bags.
Or just give it to the highest, whoever the top 3 donators.
See, I like the random, because the little guys still get a chance. I've always been a little guy myself. I'm not going to bullshit you. And being a little guy, being able to have that same amount of chance is what PB's all been about. 110%.
I like that. But for business, man, you're going to push them to give more to get that.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the whole business aspect with PB, and it's been a real tough pill to swallow, because what we've done just in the last 3 years, just in donations alone, has really taken a toll on us with our personal pockets. But the gratification you get when you see this guy's daughter using that equipment, or that pay dirt bag that we customly, bought the little plastic bags and filled it up with a little bit of gold and sent them it that way, sent it to them, send it their way, and they open it up and they post on PB. That melts my heart, man. Right then and there, I know I did something good, and that's all it's about. That's what I mean. So as far as the business thing, it's been such a hard pill for us to swallow. You can ask Arrow. I mean, Arrow, we've talked about this so many different times with Don, with Tina, with Rob, with Paul, with every single person that takes care of BB. It's been a super tough pill to swallow. And where we're at right now, we love it, and we'll take it, and we'll keep it right where it's at. And with the donations and the support, we'll see where we can rock and roll.
Man, you keep your current mindset, you keep your goals straight on bettering the community as a whole. I guarantee you that you're going to the top. Just keep that mindset.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, a couple more shout outs here. Wanted to bring up, if you want a PB snuffer holder, reach out to Tina Williams. She will take care of you there. Alaska Gold Hunter said he'll do 4 if we do it that way. So in a week, we'll count up how many people have donated. We will send that number to Alaska Gold Hunter, Justin, and have him pick 4 numbers, and then we will send out. We'll contact those people, get all the mailing addresses, blah blah blah. You know the game. And we'll get you guys some quarter gram pay dirt bags, and a big thank you from PB and Josh and
all of us. Yeah, all of us. Big thank you. You guys make the community happen. I mean, at the end of the day. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick some ass and take some names on this last giveaway. So let's get some drum rolls in there. Have a good night, Mike. All right, here we go. And the last winner of the giveaway is going to be Mr. Michael Enixon. I'm trying to pronounce that last name correctly. I know I butchered it the first time. Mr. Michael Enixon, congratulations, man. Absolutely awesome to have you on the podcast this evening. Make sure you reach out to Josh Reinke, like we talked about earlier. In the comments here, there is the website. You can reach out to him via email, phone number, preferably Facebook Messenger and phone number. But if you do choose email, just wait, 3, 4, 5 days, wait until he can get back to you.
Just don't
So
choose
congratulations. What's that?
Just don't choose email. Give
Just
me a call.
don't choose email.
Give me a call, give me a text, and don't do it until Monday or Tuesday of next week.
Awesome. So with that being said, guys, I love and appreciate every single one of you. Josh, I love and appreciate you. Co-host Mr. Arrow, man, we seem to have a lot of fun, take names, kick ass every single podcast.
Yeah,
So, I already got love sent your way, my man. So with that being said, everybody that watched this evening, after all the technical difficulties, after the Facebook situation and just strictly going to YouTube, I appreciate you guys taking the time and effort to jump on here. Josh, I appreciate the time jumping on here, having a ton of fun, clearing a lot of things up, and really moving forward in a positive direction. So
I love it, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, like I said, it's guys like you that make this community happen. So, at the end of the day, let's kick ass and take names. That's what it boils down to. So,
yes, sir.
So with that being said, love you guys. We'll see you guys on the next podcast.
Booyah.
Have a good night, guys.